Okay, hello and welcome, guys. I'm really excited to get to talk to you guys today. I'm hoping this will be just a really quick video, but I do have some quite exciting news, I think, for quite a few of you. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Phoenix Stone. I work with the OPL 1, 2 men and women's teams. So, I've been lucky to see some promotions in recent years as well. And something we've identified as a department really is that the access to physical development, specifically in the gym, could potentially be quite enhanced for our OPDL athletes by just supplying some programming throughout the off season. So I've gone ahead and programmed out essentially 2 gym sessions a week from October to March for you guys, uh, essentially for free. We're just trying to be accessible here. And we're doing this because we believe in physical development. So typically, when we see athletes that we work with that are getting stronger, they're getting more explosive, and their movement quality just becomes more refined, it tends to translate really well onto the field and show some success for our athletes. So we thought we should maximize that and try to get it out to as many of you guys as possible. And what's great about this type of programming in general is that it can be quite independent. So you do need access to basic gym equipment or facility to operate out of. But outside of that, you can essentially pick and plug anytime you want to go. You just need 40 to 60 minutes to essentially become a better version of yourself. So we thought that would be a great method to run through. The purpose of this video is just to kind of show you the PDF that you guys will be delivered, help you navigate sort of the user interface and how you could fill the sheets out, and then answer some very basic questions on how to go through the programs essentially. So you're not trying to figure it out on your own, hopefully a little bit less. So this is the first page you'll see. It's the off-season overview or FAQ. So understanding why we're doing something that we're doing, what you may need, how this entails to you, and then a few frequently asked questions and troubleshooting that I've tried to get ahead of before this is actually disseminated to you, could be found in here. We'll move on to the calendar template, and this is essentially just where you could potentially pick and plug to do these sessions if you see the value in taking them on. So what I've done is consulted your guys' schedule from October to March and just picked out the few days that you have here that are technically your off days. So for planning purposes, it may be a little bit easier for your athletes to get out during these days as highlighted throughout this time if they want to employ something like that. Moving on to the actual programs that you guys will get, it can look a little bit daunting at first, but it's actually really easy to navigate. So each time an athlete comes in for a program, they'll have this sheet in front of them. It could be a printed out booklet, essentially. What you'll see is a mobility and movement prep at the top, some notes if there's anything to add in, and then most of the exercises that they'll be executing will be on this left-hand side moving down. So each program will be 6 weeks long, and we'll see that it'll move left to right throughout those 6 weeks. So the idea is that the sets and reps will predate each week, and they'll actually grow throughout the 6 weeks, obviously, to give us a little bit of a harder time as we develop physically. But you can input your numbers for each lift or give yourself a check mark if there's no lift or load, incorporated in the white boxes that are here. So when we come through, if I'm an athlete and I'm opening this up for the first time, I'm starting in the mobility and movement prep section. And this is really general. It's just to get your blood flow moving a little bit more and get our body feeling right before we're going. But this is essentially self-guided. So take 10 minutes to get warm. I've attached a few examples if you don't know the best way to do that for yourself. But this is essentially something that you can tackle yourself. And I trust you guys to do that to the best of your ability. After we're warm, we'll hop down to the left-hand side here. And we'll start at block 1. So the block schemes in this workout design, they essentially operate as follows. So we'll come down to block 1. It'll be the first set of exercises that we go through. And then we'll have 2 to 3 exercises typically in each block that we go through. So when I come to block 1 and I need to do these 2 exercises, I'm not going to do all of the sets and reps for one exercise, then move on to the other. What I'm going to do is like snake the exercises. So if I was entering my weights or my check marks for this, for example, I could say, check, I've done my first set of this, but then I would move on to the next exercise in line, before coming back up top to finish, in this case, what is my 2 sets of exercises essentially there. And then once I'm done the entirety of block 1, what I can do is just shuffle down to block 2 and repeat that same format there. Then move on to block 3, repeating that snake, and moving on to block 4 after that. And this is just designed in a way that helps certain muscle groups essentially either recover before you complete the next set or challenge you further in that way. So once you're done week 1 of a day 1, you would move on to the next week, essentially, the next time you wanted to go through something, and so on and so forth. If you don't know, I don't expect you to know what the exercises are, so I've linked videos to proper form and proper mechanics. I would consider just consulting that each time you come in, especially in the first few weeks, and then you'll find typically by week 2, 3, or maybe even 4, if you have to get there, you'll know the exercises by then. And these things progress throughout these 24 weeks that I've programmed here to essentially just become harder versions of the same types of exercises. So just for your ease of mind, block 1 will always be what you guys will commonly know as your plyometric movements. So they'll be our jumps, they'll be our most powerful movements, and we'll get those out of the way early. After that, we'll move on to our good quality strength work for 2 blocks, where we'll really develop both the upper and lower body to be more resilient. And then finally, block 4 here at the bottom will kind of represent our accessory work. So these are typically static positions that we call isometrics, and they're really, really good for promoting tissue health. And what I've noticed specifically with the uni and OPL guys I work with is guys who do this a lot tend to spend quite a bit more time on the field as well, specifically these accessory isometrics. So they work really, really well as a preventative mechanism for injury. So I hope that answers a few questions. Again, if you need to navigate most of the questions or run into any errors or issues while you're trying to read through these programs, I have the FAQ page up here. So consult that first. And then if there's still any issues that you guys are looking through or you need a little bit more help to roll through it, if you really see the value in this, I've just attached my email in the last block here. So you guys can shoot me an easy message too. And hopefully I'll be able to help troubleshoot a few of your issues. But yeah, I thought this would be a really good sort of effort to help navigate as well. And I'm really excited to hopefully hear a lot of you guys progressing through that. Thanks. Bye.